Sahih Al-Bukhari 1351. Narrated Jabir. When the time of the Battle of Uhud approached, my father called me at night and said, I think that I will be the first amongst the companions of the Prophet to be martyred. I do not leave anyone after me dearer to me than you, except Allah's Messenger. His soul, and I owe some debt, and you should repay it, and treat your sisters favorably, nicely, and politely. So in the morning he was the first to be martyred and was buried along with another martyr. I did not like to leave him with the other martyr, so I took him out of the grave after 6 months of his burial, and he was in the same condition as he was on the day of burial, except a slight change near his ear. Narrated Jabir. A man was buried along with my father, and I did not like it till I took him, my father, out and buried him in a separate grave. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet collected every 2 martyrs of Uhud in one grave, and then he would ask which of them knew the Quran more, and if one of them was pointed out for him as having more knowledge, he would put him first in the lot. The Prophet said, I will be a witness on these on the day of resurrection. Then he ordered them to be buried with their blood on their bodies, and he did not have them washed. Sahih Al-Bukhari 1354. Narrated Ibn Umar. Umar set out along with the Prophet P.B.U.H. with a group of people to Ibn Sayyad till they saw him playing with the boys near the hillocks of Bani Mughala. Ibn Sayyad at that time was nearing his puberty and did not notice us until the Prophet stroked him with his hand and said to him, Do you testify that I am Allah's messenger? Ibn Sayyad looked at him and said, I testify that you are the messenger of illiterates. Then Ibn Sayyad asked the Prophet P.B.U.H., Do you testify that I am Allah's messenger? The Prophet P.B.U.H. refuted it and said, I believe in Allah and His apostles. Then he said to Ibn Sayyad, What do you think? Ibn Sayyad answered, True people and liars visit me. The Prophet said, You have been confused as to this matter. Then the Prophet said to him, I have kept something in my mind for you. Can you tell me that? Ibn Sayyad said, It is al-Dukhta, smoke. Too, the Prophet said, Let you be in ignominy. You cannot cross your limits on that. Umar said, O Allah's Messenger, allow me to chop his head off. The Prophet P.B.U.H. said, If he is Dajjal, then you cannot overpower him. And if he is not, then there is no use of murdering him. Ibn Umar added, Later on Allah's Messenger P.B.U.H. once again went along with Ubay bin Kabi to the date palm trees garden where Ibn Sayyad was staying. The Prophet P.B.U.H. heard something from Ibn Sayyad before Ibn Sayyad could see him, and the Prophet P.B.U.H. saw him lying covered with a sheet, and from where his murmurs were heard, Ibn Sayyad's mother saw Allah's apostle while he was hiding himself behind the trunks of the date palm trees. She addressed Ibn Sayyad, O Saf, and this was the name of Ibn Sayyad here is Muhammad, and with that Ibn woman left him had she not disturbed him. Then Ibn Sayyad would have revealed the reality of his case. Sahih Al-Bukhari 1356. Narrated Anas. A young Jewish boy used to serve the Prophet, and he became sick, so the Prophet went to visit him. He sat near his head and asked him to embrace Islam. The boy looked at his father, who was sitting there. The latter told him to obey Abul Qasim, and the boy embraced Islam. The Prophet came out saying, Praises be to Allah who saved the boy from the hellfire. Sahih Al-Bukhari 1357. Narrated Ibn Abbas. My mother and I were among the weak and oppressed, I from among the children, and my mother from among the women. Sahih Al-Bukhari 1358, narrated Ibn Shihab. The funeral prayer should be offered for every child, even if he were the son of a prostitute as he was. Born with a true faith of Islam, I to worship none but Allah alone, if his parents are Muslims, particularly the father, even if his mother were a non-Muslim, and if he after the delivery cries even once, before his death, I born alive, then the funeral prayer must be offered, and if the child does not cry after his delivery, I born dead, then his funeral prayer should not be offered, and he will be considered as a miscarriage. Abu Huraira narrated that the Prophet said, every child is born with a true faith, I to worship none but Allah alone, but his parents convert him to Judaism or to Christianity or to Paganism, as an animal delivers a perfect baby animal. Do you find it mutilated? Then Abu Huraira recited the holy verses, the pure Allah's Islamic nature, true faith that is to worship none but Allah alone, with which he has created human beings. 30. Sahih Al-Bukhari 1359, narrated Abu Huraira. Allah's Messenger said, every child is born with a true faith of Islam, I to worship none but Allah alone, but his parents convert him to Judaism, Christianity, or Paganism, as an animal delivers a perfect baby animal. Do you find it mutilated? Then Abu Huraira recited the holy verses, the pure Allah's Islamic nature, true faith of Islam, i.e., worshipping none but Allah, with which he has created human beings. No change let there be in the religion of Allah, I joining none in worship with Allah. That is the straight religion, Islam, but most of men know not. 30. Sahih Al-Bukhari 1360, narrated Sa'id bin al-Musayyab from his father, when the time of the death of Abu Talib approached, Allah's Messenger went to him and found Abu Jahl bin Hisham and Abdullah bin Abi Umayyah bin al-Mughira by his side. Allah's Messenger said to Abu Talib, O uncle, say, none has the right to worship but Allah, a sentence with which I shall be a witness. I argue for you before Allah. Abu Jahl and Abdullah bin Abi Umayyah said, O Abu Talib, are you going to denounce the religion of Abdul Muttalib? Allah's Messenger kept on inviting Abu Talib to say it, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, while they, Abu Jahl and Abdullah, kept on repeating their statement till Abu Talib said as his last statement that he was on the religion of Abdul Muttalib and refused to say, none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. Then Allah's Messenger said, I will keep on asking Allah's forgiveness for you unless I am forbidden by Allah to do so. So Allah revealed the verse concerning him, it is not fitting for the Prophet and those who believe that they should invoke Allah for forgiveness for pagans, even though they be of kin, after it has become clear to them that they are companions of the fire. 9-113. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe my channel for more Hadith videos. God bless you. Allah Hafiz.